Last week, we didn't have a demo, but we talked about something. We did some PRs. We did stuff, votes and everything. Today. 01, 03, 2023, here. Demos. Do we have demos? Demos, topics. Nothing special. So status option 1. It's some trial option 1, but there was nothing merged. Just issues, option 4. Since 7. This one we should have looked at it. We did. View model should be public. Then fix back part when content type is deleted. When content type is deleted. So if you have a back part with widgets, but the widget's content type has been deleted, then it won't break. It will just create a warning. Okay. Spacing around widgets. UI, remove extra semicolon. Someone is watching the meetings. Because you mentioned that last week. Create to 3, 2, 3, 1. Because we talked about it recently. Just a PR. Yeah, this one. 6 times on parsing. That one was interesting. The idea is that when you use a datetime with a time zone, the datetime that will be created will also parse the time zone. Okay, so it will be in the time zone that was defined. If it's not defined, then it will assume it's a local time zone based on the configuration. And you can still change to custom time zones, but there is also, is there the new filter in this one? Maybe not, maybe the next one. I added a filter based on some feedback to be able to render in the local time zone. So because today you can render in any time zone, but you don't know which one is the local one. So now there will be one to do that. Probably not yet shipped as a NuGet package. This one at field validation under field validation when contents are created outside of the UI. So that's the continuation of a previous PR that added handlers for fields. So this PR contains, so from Mike, contains various handlers for each field to apply the validation rules that were already in the drivers. And the drivers will apply validation rules when the editor form is used. So now if you create content items, these handlers will validate that the fields are correct. So it's not just for the UI now. Import dynamic creation, so now it will be executing the validation rules. WebP is now part of the allowed file extension. So this one, actually, I made a mistake last time. This one, allowed file extension, this is for the media feature, just to say which files can be uploaded. Right? And this one, let's see, because there are two things for extensions. What is that?
One is for documentation, and this is the actual default if the app settings is not set. So if the app settings is not set, this is what we use. Okay. But if the app settings set, we use the app settings.
So I was thinking about something else, which is the media type that is served for each of the extensions. So we have a media type provider, so maybe it's part of it and it's served as an image, but I'm not sure. Or do we have a media type provider only version 1? Content type, yeah. So like a static file provider will set the correct content type based on the extension. I don't remember where it's configured. File extension content type provider. So there is this list, but this one is not updated very often. And if WebP is not there, I believe it will be, yes, because otherwise the fact that you added it means you are using it. And if you are using it, it would not have worked without that, or maybe not as good. So that is there. Okay. But I thought we had a way to add more of them. Or maybe no, we just say rely on the ASP.NET configuration and then this can be changed in custom configuration. Can it? I'm not sure. Maybe it needs a custom content type provider. Maybe have one. I remember we had to deal with that. Oh. Oh, we have one. Okay. Oh no, we resolve it. Okay, we use it. Know about it, but maybe we don't have a custom one. We do have one. File extension content type provider. Or maybe this is the one. No, this is the one from ASP.NET Core that will register. interesting. Maybe it's going to be real. So there is a mappings property. Maybe there are options also. Mappings property. So one could use this one and add more values to it. Okay. So back to this one. Notification feature to provide a way to notify the user. So my XPR has been merged. There is a new notifications feature. We've seen 2 demos of that. So last week also it's on YouTube now. So everyone can use that. Adding returnurl to logoff. Back to this one. Thanks whoever has fixed the PR and merged it. So logoff now supports returnurl and some other usage has been improved. Comment typo, okay, new contributor, mkdocs update, and another typo. Okay. Questions? Demos, topics?
So that PR that we asked people to vote, I think it's exactly where we started. We have 4 thumbs up and 4 thumbs downs.
I didn't vote yet. You want me to break the vote? Or do you not want me to break the vote?
I don't know, it's up to you. But yeah, so that's because the plan was to kind of make a decision today. But yeah, we have 4 thumbs up, 4 thumbs down.
Which one
so
is that?
I don't know. Oh, 12627. 12627.
So before I look at who voted for that, I love Lombic to have some votes on it. It's not an official vote because they do a lot of website, and I hope some people from Lombic. Yeah, okay, good. So they have voted. So Piedon Zoltan has voted, and super fair because it's only 1 vote from Lombic. They could have, well, I assume nobody else is from Lombic there, but they could cheat, right? And they say, hey, everyone just vote for that. But Zoltan says, no, I mean, that could be a way to do that. That's super fair. Or Mike, you could have called some friends and say, can you click on this button? And then
I should have, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't call anyone to vote, but I haven't voted yet. I don't want it to be changing vote. I voted for that. Mike, Zoltan.
See, I just think, I mean, to kind of be fair, right? It is, I think we agree it's a fair ask, right? Because some people are obviously like it. Some people have their opinion, which is great, perfect. But I think to be fair, if we continue with this PR, it's not going to break anyone. But it will force any new development in Orchard Core to adhere to this. So it's really only impacting the project of Orchard Core. Now, if others like Lombic or anyone that don't want to use the settings because they don't want to change their code, perfectly fine. You keep doing whatever it is that you're doing today. So it's really not breaking them. However, if they decide, you know what, we love those settings and we're going to change whatever we have done to ensure we use this, then they would do that. So in a way, it's not really breaking anything. It's just adding more functionality if you choose to use it. And honestly, that's why I think it's a fair ask. Bottom line, I mean, we want to improve the admin theme. We have to improve it. The admin theme is really difficult to replace. I mean, you could if you want to do a lot of maintenance, but it's really difficult to replace. And so I think that's one of the issues. So trying to make it as dynamic as possible, or as extended as possible, or as configurable, that makes sense because it just makes it easier for users. And I mean, the fact that we can label and utilize the width of the screen make the user experience much easier. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be spending time on this PR, but there's definitely a need for it. But so I think that's why I think it's a fair ask. But I mean, it is definitely a change. So.
Yeah, it's a burden to maintain. Now, look at who voted for and how many PRs they do and bugs they fix on this. You do a lot of PR and you do a lot of fixes. But then look at this list. Just take the first two of them, like Niraj, Shantiri, Satiri. So I mean, that's the kind of who pays for the burden, like who will fix the bugs when people say, oh, look, this label is not on the left. So that will be you. Probably.
I understand. That's why we have 4 thumbs up and 4 thumbs down.
So there is another one. So that was already this one. I liked it. So I like the fact that people comment the comments and say why they want that or they don't want that. So we saw that this one last week, and there is this new one. So. Yeah, they don't understand the caveats. It's nice to have options. That's totally fine. Everyone loves options, right? Control is just options. Does it work right to left? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely works. I mean, there's a video even proof it's working. Yeah, but I mean, could I have missed something? Sure, but I've tested it. Showed a video of all the fields and parts that we have today. Everything seems to be working fine. And see, even responsive, as you can see when you change the screen.
Where is the video for right to left? Or maybe I have to wait.
Say that again.
The right to left video.
That won't change. I mean, I didn't have a video right to left, but it shouldn't impact anything because we're using Bootstrap. So Bootstrap 5.2 or 5.1 should. We can ask Hisham to test it, I guess.
Okay. Well, I won't say what I want to say even because it's recorded, and I have my personal opinion also on the usage, and I will look to you after. On Thursday, it's not recorded, just to give you some feedback. So 4.4, we need the tiebreaker, but I mean, because it's not like 10-0 against you, I'm more toward accepting it because people say I want it, and we'll see how it goes. Worst case, we'll remove the feature and go back to what it was before if there is too many issues. It's easier to remove things like this than to. Well, I mean, it's easy to remove if we already want to remove it. I don't see why we would, but we'll see. If one day we have like UI that doesn't work because people don't do the effort to make it this way. Let's see. So there is this one. We'll keep that open. Do we have PRs to look at? And if possible, PRs to look at in a way that it needs to be discussed, like discussion driven, instead of just looking at code review.
Well, there was great. Last Tuesday we reviewed that permissions, though. You had some feedback in this meeting. We addressed it. And I'm wondering if you want to just have a look at it and see if you want to make any more changes to it. So we can either make it ready for Thursday, or if it's ready, then we can just leave it alone or whatever. That one is 12407. I mean, that one is a big PR. That's why I'm kind of.
Yeah, this index took a lot of time. It was. Yeah, it was.
We got rid of it though. So that added index, we got rid of it.
So do you have this one now? No, this one was removed. Somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was just renamed and it's moved to, well, now, I don't know if it's moved, but I think it's now only activated when the users module is enabled, or the users feature, or the roles feature, because it's basically for the role service, so it was just moved.
Okay, and oh wait, so and the goal was to be able to remove the roles feature.
There's a PR for that.
It's not that then, okay.
Yeah, this one, it's to extend the permissions. So we have more control. We can use edit, delete a user, or list the users of specific role and things like that.
Okay, well, you should address the feedback. And I'm fine with that. Do you have any approval already? Nothing? Oh well. Bids? Doesn't break anything?
I feel anytime we have too many files, people don't want to approve.
Yeah, because it's risky.
Yeah, it is. I agree, but you know,
It's just not the file, also the feature like. Okay. You can break it and then you will fix it. That one. This one, interesting. Ooh.
Wondering how many PRs will break.
Yeah, all of them. That's great. We have a reason to close them. No, wait. No, it's just using. No, that's fine. This one is fine. It's not. I thought it was namespaces. No. So this one is removing using, adding some. So it's not breaking anything. I want to see is because it can be removed for two reasons. First, it's not used. Then totally fine. Second, now there is default usings, implicit using. So maybe that's what this PR is about. Use global using here, okay? Which means in the CS proj, we say inject these using automatically. Also something we mentioned, which is you can have a NuGet package that when referenced, or a CS proj, that when it's referenced, automatically the usings are injected if you ask for it. So we can have, so let's see if that's the case here. We can have in the CS proj a list of usings that will be added if you reference the project. Yes, proj files here. So why?
I think if you have a PR that adds a using statement, I think that PR will break or will have a conflict that someone has to resolve.
No, I don't think so. So I think these ones are not necessary anymore because they are automatically injected by the reference to SPM.
Correct. Yeah, but if someone added like on line 5, someone added the using statement, then that PR is gonna.
Oh, I see what you mean. If yes, there can be a conflict if someone changed these files. I see. At the same time, it should be easy to resolve. So
agreed.
And these are tests. Bet that nobody is writing tests in their PRs. Only. Oh, I see. Only that's the fact. Only Sham is writing tests. Then, and that's a good thing. So then the idea is, okay, you see it's changing the test here. So it just says when you, in the test project here, yeah, that's a special file using .cs. And if you have implicit using true, then it will use that. Okay, so.
Yeah, I just noticed it's only tests files is what he's changing, not the whole project. Yeah. Next PR will be the whole project.
Probably these kind of things that we should do at the end or the beginning of a cycle of a new release. Like dependency. Better. Yeah, well, this is interesting. So big Be careful not to do it for all the files, because that will be too many changes and it will break all the PRs for sure. This one, yeah, why not? It's a lot of few things. And if there is a conflict, can be resolved. Like in this case, there is maybe a resource location class in this file, but this maybe you're using is already, this one is already in implicit usings maybe, and then there is a conflict. What is resource location? Or maybe there are two usings that have the same resource location class, so we need to be explicit. Here in this file, resource location is from this namespace. Okay, well, looks good to me.
Another PR that we can probably process was the schema, the schema options.
Okay.
That John Theory made the updates. So now it basically does what we agreed upon last week, I think. PR 12683. 12683. So we're keeping the UI simple by only allowing to change the schema and the table prefix, and everything else will utilize default. And the new default for columns is big integer now. How long?
Okay, if you followed what we said, I trust you. My only concern is should the label be on the left? It's better if the labels are on the left, right? When you have a big screen. Is it supported?
Yeah.
We break the PR. Oh my God. Okay, you want an approval?
Yeah, I mean, John Theory approved it a while ago and he made tons of changes to it. I tested it yesterday and it's perfect. But I'll wait on John Theory one more time and then we'll merge it. It's
Antoine will update the what's the name? try.orchard.net, and I will create a site I will have to test the new setup, the thing. I don't know how it will work actually, because no, there is no such thing on try.orchard.net. Because there is no setup screen. It's automatic. You just pick up the crap. So I will have to set up Orchard locally to try it.
Well, yeah, but if you do the auto setup, it should utilize the new, like the big integer, and should.
It should work. Well,
yeah, it should work. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be transparent
with the new defaults. Yeah.
Only because I was reading some articles about unique ID generation, and there are different algorithms to do that for perf reasons or like for distributed reasons, because if you have a cluster of machines and you want a unique ID, it has to be unique across the machines, because when you send it to the database, so GUID is nice because it will be different for every machine, but there are other algorithms that are faster that might not be as unique as GUID. So you have to be careful when you use it on different machines. There could be conflicts. So the way JSQL is doing it is by getting a list of a window of IDs, but these are integers. And that's not the fastest way to do that, but that's the way that it works, and that's faster for the database, but that's not the fastest way. Well, that's faster for database, and that's fast to create a new ID, but when you get your window of IDs all used, you need to ask for a new window, and then that's slower. But yeah, maybe we should have had technical IDs like our unique IDs for things, documents. But then perf. But that should not even appear. That it doesn't anymore, right?
It does not, no.
Okay,
this
good,
is not.
thank you. There is a setting, but the default
Yep.
being big, and yeah, if you want integer, sure.
Yep. And for existing sites, it's integer.
Beautiful. Because we can't upgrade because database limitations. But that's good. Okay, well, looks good. But that's a lot of work that doesn't serve any purpose for doing websites, right? It's good for everyone. But that's not how you make money. You make websites. You need to make websites at some point. Stop doing stuff like this. Okay. This one is interesting. What else? Dates. TenantId is something we mentioned. This should be merged soon. I don't know what's blocking it. The idea is that today a tenant has a name, sorry, but the name might collide, like if you create another tenant with the same name, or if you delete a tenant and recreate a tenant with the previous name, the tenant ID now in this case will be unique. And this PR is just to add this property, and probably maybe later we'll see to change to use the tenant ID property instead of the tenant name where it's used right now. So the tenant name is still there, but to reference a tenant, we should use the ID, which is unique. So there can't be any conflict. Same way when we moved from using the username as a user ID to a user ID that is unique. This one also, I commented on that. No, not this one. There was a bug with OpenID. Oh, that's the bug in, oh, yes, SQL. That's a very interesting bug. Where is the OpenID bug?
I think that was the URL, the uppercase, lowercase issue. Yeah, I don't think there's a PR for it. There's an issue.
Oh, issue, sorry. So I can't find it. This one is interesting, and I have to fix it in SQL. I thought it was not in SQL first, but so someone is creating two applications and trees with the same, well, with redirect URIs, which are, one application and tree with two redirect URIs, this one and this one, and they only vary by case. And what's happening is that there is a reduce index, or even index would have worked. Well, a reduce index that has to provide a key, and the key is this URI. And because of that, SQL says, okay, I can create, it will create two entries because it says two different keys. But then when you load from a database, you get one entry because the database itself, when it says get the application by that, it will give you the two entries. It will give you the two entries for the same thing, even though there is only one for this URL exact and one for this URL. So then it will fail because it say I should have only have had one record and I got two records. So the key is not unique and the key should be unique. So the key is unique in memory, but is not unique in terms of database requests. And then there are two issues. First, SQL will throw an exception because it only expected one thing. It didn't expect more than one thing. And second, we need to change the key creation of this code here to, but it's not, so I don't. So this is the index that says group by this value. And when it groups in memory, the two values are not the same because they don't match by case. But when it's using this key to query in database, and it says, give me the value with this URL, then I don't know what it is anymore. It's this URL. Then it gives the reduced index for both this one and this one because the collation is case insensitive in SQL Server by default and in other databases. And then yes, SQL breaks. So if we just fix the code here, all new setups will work, but we also need to fix SQL to say to not throw an exception that says out of bound exception or whatever, like the ref exception. I don't know what, I don't remember, but at least to give the explanation that there are 2 records for 1 or something. So 2 bugs to fix here. This one is interesting. Something to mention in a meeting like this. And someone should already fix this thing. Don't wait for SQL to fix it because we can fix it already in Launcher Core. Yeah, this one should be approved already. Is it approved?
What's the status on that .NET 7 PR? Remember last time let's talk about it. I just don't know what was the outcome.
Does it build?
There's a conflict. I just opened it right now. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, it should be this package version for the conflict. It should be easy fix for the conflict. I don't know if it built or not.
It's not. The conflict is there, so that's easy. Oh no, there is this one. Let's fix the conflict first. So fix the conflict here. We can say that this branch wins, but this version wins. But there was an issue with the library. Maybe Antoine fixed it. There was a library. Yeah. Yeah, the issue is okay. So the merge is fixed, but it doesn't build because of this dependency. I think we need to remove that. So we need to understand what makes object core require this dependency here. Because this one makes everything fail. Visual ID options. Visual ID. Oh, Visual ID configuration. So there is Microsoft authentication, but still it should not require the identity web, which is the UI. Well, this was the UI part of the things, which doesn't exist anymore. See, it was not shipped for .NET 7. Just review. Yeah, it was cancelled. And then we try to replace it by that. But maybe it's missing some types. And my question was, why do we need that? And apparently it's necessary for, we need some things for it authentication. So yeah, someone needs to go into this branch and understand what's missing for the build. it has to work still in 7.0. The authentication, micro-authentication was not broken in 7.0, definitely. The question is, what do we need to reference for that? Or update the code to not use Azure AD because this thing doesn't work, doesn't exist anymore. So that must have been replaced by something else.
And I couldn't find the equivalent in the identity.web library for the constants. I will try to merge the latest version at least.
This is something from the UI thing. So maybe we need to change this library, the Orchard Core Microsoft Authentication, to use something else than Azure AD. So if we look at that, somewhere, you see we use Azure AD UI. I'm like, why? Well, sure, there's a reason. Azure AD UI, Azure AD, here, Azure AD startup. That's our class.
Do you see the comments, line 64?
Awesome. Noted 5 and you're being obsolete. Okay. Okay, Microsoft Identity Web should be used instead. So that's a good point that you added the reference, but that's not sufficient. Okay, so there is this thing. Okay, but then we need to update some things somewhere. Also, maybe remove the warning to see what's the warning. Like an obsolete or something like that. Yeah. Who wrote that?
Maybe Dean.
Nope, it's
yeah,
maybe Dean.
Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could ask him. No. You will ping him. Super useful. He's always useful. So let's see. What's the name of the library? Awesome. Something we talked about recently, I think. To do some JavaScript validation, just try to run something when we edit the JavaScript. That's good, and then, yeah, you don't need. Not sure. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. Content field, content part as input fields.
Yeah, that PR, I was able to fix a UI. I just have to find time to actually take those input and query the indexes for the fields, the field indexes. So that UI is actually working.
Oh, I remember what you mean. Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah.
So Mike helped, I think I just
no, he did reach back, but I don't think he had the time to actually dig into the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured out the issue, but then I just have to find a way now to actually apply him, because these indexes, the field indexes, we have to use them multiple times. There's I think we have to use it, when you query, somehow with the SQL, we can't use with field, like if you wanna search text on the text field for two separate fields,
yes,
you have to join 2 times, not 1 time.
Yep.
And if we use the with, I don't know if we can. I don't even know if there's a way in the SQL to do it.
No, I think that's the any and the all. That's why we made it, because we found the issue with the SQL field index. Yeah, we found the issue, and then we created the all and any. I don't remember how they work, but the tests they show how it works and how to use it. So.
Oh, utilizing the or, the and.
Yeah, the all and any. So for the or and the ID being, so if you have in the index, you have 2 fields like first name, last name, which are text fields, so they're in the same table of the index, and 2 records. Then you need to do 2 joins because you want the first or the other. So you need to do index join on the first one and say with this constraint, and a join on the other with this other constraint. And I think that's what the any is doing. Because they are the same columns, and you need if they were 2 different columns, you could say column A equals true or column B equals false. But no, here it's 2 different records and 2 different columns, so you need other mechanism than just index. So yeah, that's the any and the all on the SQL. These ones are interesting, also trying to refactor the modules to remove dependencies between each other. Can't find a word for that. Decoupling. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Questions, comments?
Thank you,
everyone. See you next week.